What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Shifu Stew coming back at you with another review. This time we're going to be looking at some post-rotation deck list. I am a huge fan of City Leagues. I talk all the time in my videos about I found this deck in Japan City Leagues. I found this deck in a different City League. We're going to go through today kind of how I search these decks, how I find them, what to me stands out when I look at them. And in general, we'll just kind of be going over what's winning these tournaments. Now, if you guys can see here on the top of my Limitless page, it does say that this page lists results from City League tournaments only. These are local events typically capped at 64 players, right? This isn't the Osaka Champions League, although Osaka is here. This is a small tournament. This is just for people to kind of test out stuff, and the scene is a lot bigger over there as far as, playing the game like this, right? They get the cards before us. It's just how the meta works for us in the United States. We see our Japanese friends play first, then we play it second. And I personally think it's really helpful to see people formulate a meta before we have access to all the cards. Now, why are we doing back-to-back review videos? Several reasons. One is the ladder is just abysmal right now. It is Dragapult, Raging Bolt, or Feraligatr. And all three of those are decks that A, are just boring to play for content, and B, unless you're playing one of them, you're going to have a really bad time. I think Dragapult is the BDIF for a reason, right? It's goated. 2 energy, 200 to the face, 60 to the bench. People aren't playing Manaphy right now because we're prepping for rotation. Shaman's going to come, though, right? Like, Shaman's on its way. In fact, I don't know if Shaman stops Dragapult damage. Probably doesn't. But that being said, nothing is really going to stop Pult for a while. I think Lily's Clefairy is in a lot of decks, and we'll see that right here in these lists, actually. Something that's been really interesting to me is noticing how often Lily's Clefairy gets played. They actually have an answer to Raging Bolt and Dragapult in Japan, which is really cool right now. And guys, this new meta coming up is going to be sick. I am actually so excited to be looking at these decks. I really like putting content out like this, so if this is just not what you're into at all and you want to see us go back to the deck list, as soon as rotation hits, we'll be doing that again. I'm going to be playing every single trainer deck back to back to back to back to back. We're going to be doing all sorts of fun single prizer decks. Guys, rotation's going to be huge. So let's just get into the list today. Right before we start with the Tokyo, which just happened yesterday, I do want to say thank you to everyone who stuck around. I think we broke 70 subs, or we're at 70. Crazy, right? Just insane to see the growth on this channel. I am so thankful to all of you. Throw a like, throw a subscribe if you get the chance to do so while you're watching this. It means a ton to me. And from all of this and meeting people in the industry, we're going to be starting up a new podcast here soon, specifically Chef Husky, myself, and a third member that you guys might know the name of by Snipe the Bench, one of my favorite creators of all time. We are working on a podcast format right now, which is going to be the three of us. I will likely be the main host. I've got a bunch of experience with podcasting in the back, actually, believe it or not. In the past, sorry. I have since archived all those since I'm getting into the TCG space, but I've got over 100 hours of podcasting time under my belt. I'm ready to get this thing going. I've wanted to do it for a long time. Been talking to Chef Husky about it for a long time. He was talking to Snipe. Snipe was like, yeah, let's do this thing. Guys, I just can't wait to see what happens in the future. The channel's going crazy. Things are looking great. So let's get into today's review, and let me show you some of these wild lists coming out of Japan. So guys, how this website works, you go to Limitless, you go to tournaments, and then you'll see it pulls up the recent ones like Vancouver, but we don't want this, right? Because we've seen these, everyone knows what happened there. We want to go to City Leagues right up here. Once you click on City Leagues, it'll bring you here. And now I've already gone and pulled up a tab for each of the last 5 tournaments, and that's what we're going to be looking at today, the last 5 tournaments, which are the top 5 on the list. Everything is dated on the far left-hand side, and then, of course, you can see where it is specifically. I cannot read any of the kanji for the shops, which is totally fine. I am not Japanese, nor do I claim to be. I just love the products they produce. So we're going to start with Tokyo. As you can see, the winner is Ogerpon Raging Bolt. Not a shocker there. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Is this the wrong Tokyo? City League Tokyo. Which one is this? Oh, wow, I've got the wrong days pulled up already. Look at that, guys. So City League Tokyo, Osaka. I think these might have just been released as I was setting up my OBS for this. Anyway, let's just dive in. We'll start with the Tokyo one right here, which is the Ogerpon and Raging Bolt. So there's a couple of ways you can go about this. You can just go to the list button right here, which is personally how I like to do it. I just hit on the list and then it's going to bring us right here. I've set my camera up on OBS to be helpful for us to look at this screen together, because I think this is really where you see the deck, right? This lets me pull up a card above it. But if you guys feel like you want me to move my camera somewhere else for this type of review, just let me know. First time we're doing something like this, so we got to grow as a channel, right? But the winner of this tournament was the Teal Mask Ogerpon Raging Bolt. There's not a lot new happening here. People are running the Noctowl and the Hoot Hoot. This actually helps you get around the loss of things like Pokestop. You do run the one-off Koraidon in this deck because, guys, Raging Bolt EX is an ancient Pokemon, right? Wish we could have found space for it in that Gouging Fire deck, but it doesn't work. So, you know, it is what it is. I got the Koraidon, which has the Unrelenting Onslaught. This card can actually do 180 as a return attack if you attacked with Bolt the turn before. And let's be honest, guys, you should just be attacking with Bolt every single turn with this deck. It's super easy to play. In fact, I think Raging Bolt is the easiest card in Pokemon to pilot right now. It's not to say you shouldn't play the deck. I think if you like Raging Bolt as a Pokemon and you like energy ramping, you should play this deck, right? Super fast, super fun to play. Thing is, it just, you know, all you're doing is attacking with Bolt every turn. There's not a lot of tech in there, but of course it's proven. It won the Tokyo, right? So we've got a bunch of energies in there. And then as far as what's going on over here, we do see the jamming towers, which I like to see. The Underdepths is interesting, and I think the Underdepths is here just because we are introducing Noctowl lines now. So that Fan Rotom plus your Noctowls, Hoot Hoots, you gotta have Ogerpons down to get energy. Eventually, you're gonna squawk Latios or Fez. I get the Area Zero. I think likely, though, you're trying to open the game with Jamming Tower to force them to respond. But let's go ahead and just check out what our second place deck is, because this is really interesting to me. Frostlass Espathra continues to pop up in City League decks, and I like what's going on with it. What I don't like is the 30 HP Flittle, because it's obviously a huge liability. But Espathra EX, if you guys haven't played it, it basically has Pokemon League headquarters as its ability. So just not for basics, right? Your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks cost 1 more. Espathra EX shuts down a lot of decks because of that ability, right? A lot of times Dragapult is running thin lines of energy. A lot of times Raging Bolt doesn't have the extra energy in hand to get it onto the Bolt itself. They can just use Ogerpons to ramp up their bench. I think there's a lot of value in this deck, and clearly it got second place in this tournament, right? Maractus, currently unreleased, but we have looked at this card already in our review of the set. I love this card. I am very excited to see what Maractus can do. It does the 6 damage counters back when damaged, and then for 20 damage and 1 colorless attack can lock an opponent's Pokemon in place, right? We're seeing Big Bite used a lot by Feraligatr right now. Pretty much Big Bite on, you know, a single prizer. It's Mawile on steroids is really what it is, guys. And of course, we've got a standard energy set here. Espathra only takes 1 Psychic, but it is gonna do more for every energy attached to both Pokemon. So you can stack up an Espathra. It's interesting to see it being played with the Frostlass Snorunt for extra damage instead of the like Xatu Natu to stack it up. I like this way a bit better, I think. You know, we do see the Gravity Gemstone for a little bit of extra holding in the active. We see the Unfair Stamp because we know we're going to get KO'd at 260. I like the deck in general. I think it's really cool, and I want to see it continue to perform more. Of course, in the top 5 here, we've got a Dragapult list. Why wouldn't we? It's BDIF for a reason. This is as simple as it gets to, right? Other than Brock scouting, you guys could go and copy this list right here and just download it to your game and play it. And probably go 1800 ELO. Dreepy into Dragcloak into Dragapult. You want to lay down Duskulls. You want to get Dusclops and Dusknors. You open the game with Budew to stop them from using items. Munkidori helps you in the mirror matchup a lot, because without Munkidori, you're going to get toasted by other Dragapults moving damage to your bench. We know Dreepy survives the 60 because it's 70. It's designed for it. One of the things to take note about, though, is this is a really thin line of energy. The Luminous does help a lot, though, right? We're losing Temple of Sinnoh. I think Luminous is just going to continue to go up in stock price. Munkidori, it's helpful for, but we already have a darkness for it. There's just a lot here that you could make happen with Luminous Energy. I like it. I think it's a good addition in the deck. It gives you a little bit more leeway on your energy to play the game. And then Jacq is really important now as well, right? We lose Lance going into the next rotation. And you might be asking yourself, wow, that's probably healthy for the game. Means Dragapult won't be as strong. I disagree, right? I mean, TM Evo gets us our Dragcloaks. It's not hard to find supporters right now. I think the deck is arguably better moving forward, but it's hard to say that any deck, until we see some of the new combos really flesh themselves out. Every deck that used Lumineon previously that doesn't have Lumineon now feels worse. And you guys might be like, wow, Lumineon, that's a weird card to be putting so much emphasis on. Lumineon made so many turns, game-winning turns, period, right? And then you could Turo Lumineons, you could stretch your back Lumineons. There was a ton of value in that Pokemon. I just think that this deck stays where it's at, and I don't think it gets worse, right? I think if anything, it's better. Jacq is worse than Lance, yes, but still good for the deck when you're running double Dusclops and one Dusknoir. I think Pult is BDIF for a reason, right? We have another Bolt Ogerpon. We're not going to dive into that. We do see the Archaludon here, but we're going to see a couple more Archaludons throughout that place a bit higher. Last one I want to look at in Tokyo is the Iron Hands deck, because if you guys haven't looked at this list, it's really weird, and I'm sure you're seeing how weird it is just off the rip at the Pokemon alone. Some don't even run the Iron Bundle. I have seen lists out of Japan which are playing 4 Iron Hands, 4 Iron Crowns, 2 Miraidons, 10 Pokemon, period. That's it. I think that's a little bit reckless. I actually like the 4 Miraidon because I think it gets early KOs pretty easily. But I get where this is at. I like Iron Bundle. I think it's got a ton of value in it to gust around. We're playing the double bosses. We're playing a Prime Catcher. There's a lot cooking up here, and the double Psychic is interesting. I almost wouldn't mind, like, instead of Bundle, to run a single Valiant, but I get it. I get it. So we'll go ahead and move on to what is our next tournament here. We had Tokyo. Now we need Osaka. Guys, look at this top 5. I already sent this top 5 in a snip to no, not this. It wasn't the 318 tournament actually, or was it? Anyway, I sent a snip that looked very similar to this to Chef Husky the other day, because I was like, man, look how healthy this looks. I might be partial that Pult is sitting at 5th place in this tournament, but let's look at these lists. I told you guys that Archaludon was coming up. That's why we didn't look at the last one. Look how crazy this is, right? We're talking Archaludon with the poison package. And guys, it makes so much sense, right? 220. Next turn, no weakness. Brute Bonnet is going to poison us. Finding Mochi is going to give us 260. We're also playing 4 copies of Perilous Jungle. Perilous Jungle is going to turn this deck up. We're not dark type, so we are going to take the extra damage, but guys, we're at 300 HP Goliath. We are doing 220 plus 40 from Mochi gets us to 260 plus 30 from Jungle gets us all the way to 290 damage. If they have a way to respond past that, good for them. They're likely going to die the next turn to our Perilous Jungle, right? Even a Dragapult at that level, 290. That's fine. Next turn, they're alive with 3 left. Unless they have a Munkidori to move the damage, they're going to die at the end of that turn to our Perilous because they're not dark either. But guys, we pack a lot of other stuff in this deck, right? Double Squawk. You're never bricking first hand. You always have access. Double Mew. We can rotate, promote the float plus restart for cards. Mew EX is just a really good card. I love to see it at 2x in this deck. Latias, Fezandipity, Pecharunt EX. All of these are going to help us scoot things around the board, make it easier to play. Fez gives us additional draw if needed. And then there's even 2 baby Pecharunts in the deck for Toxic Subjugation. Guys, this is such a donk-worthy deck, and I get why it took first place in this tournament. Not just first place in a tournament against a ton of new decks, and this is why I love watching the City Leagues, because these guys play the new stuff. So, Archaludon, something to keep your eye on, and guys, let's go back to this list 1 second. You can download this and play it now. There is nothing in this deck from the new set, which is crazy, right? Carmine at 4x to open the game, go first so that the next time we play, we can hit with our Chaludon. Guys, this deck is awesome. We will be playing it post-rotation, absolutely. I love it. I love everything about what's going on in this deck. I will say I am partial to LDF's take on Archaludon in general. I don't think it's S tier. I don't think it's ever gonna be S tier while Pult and Bolt exist. But guys, I love it. I love what's going on here. I think there's a lot of value. It'd be cool to see a Munkidori somewhere because we're already taking poison damage. Just get some extra in there. Absolutely not necessary. So this is the way I'll be playing Archaludon moving forward. First, look at Mamoswine. God, this card is cool. So it's 180 and it's doing 40 more damage for every stage 2 on your bench. We know its ability lets us turbo get Pokemon out. Not only do we have the Mamoswine in this deck, but we are playing the Blaziken. It is a stage 2, so it's really important to remember that we have to be playing stage 2 Pokemon to make this happen. Swinub is helpful. This is Call for Family as the first attack. I do not speak or read Japanese, but I have looked at these cards in English plenty of times. In fact, my girlfriend is getting pretty good at Japanese. She's been doing Duolingo for a while. We're talking a long streak on that thing. She could probably read some of this card, but I cannot. So I will defer to her for all my Japanese needs. We do have the double Pidgeys here. I like this. I'm starting to see this in a lot of decks too. I'm starting to see the 50 HP Pidgey and the 60. The 60 is really helpful if you're playing a Dusknoir line deck because it lets you survive for that first turn. If you're not, I can see where the 50 Pidgey actually helps you get off Call for Family for a big early game. Now we've got the double Luxrays as well. Okay, so there is a reversal in the deck to play the Luxray. You guys know me. I love playing from behind on prizes. I like this. I like this deck a lot, actually. There is the Soul Cornerstone with the Fez as well. It's a fighting energy deck. I got no issues with how this plays out. I like the single switch in there, the Super Rod, little Defiance Band, little Jamming Tower. You're not too heavy into TMs, or, you got TMs, so you're not too heavy into tools because they go away. So you can afford that one Jamming Tower. which likely is going to be replacing like a Gravity Mountain, which is going to harm your deck so much. I love what's happening here. I'm a huge fan. This tournament also has my favorite deck for post rotation. In's deck is just amazing, man. First off, this In Zoroark art is banging. I cannot wait to play this card. I do love that it is 4/4 on those. For me personally, there's something in my brain that just like, I love seeing things at 4/4 or 3/3 or even lines. I get why it's a 3/2 on Darumaka and Darmanitan. I do think Darmanitan's art is really cool. I like the rough around the edges art style as opposed to like the really hyper realistic. The Reshiram at 1 is interesting to me because I am concerned what happens when you prize it. There is a chance you can get quick early prizes with Darmanitan, but I'm going to be real, guys. I feel that In's Reshiram is probably a 2x for ladder play. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. But of course, we do see the Budew in the deck. We want to open up with Budew. We have the Munkidori, the Petron EX, and the Fez. All of these are just tool cards to move around a dark deck to play how we want to. We have the 7 Darkness with the double reversal. There is an opportunity for us to attack with In's Darmanitan. And since we have Pecharunt with a few dark cards in here, something I want to really highlight is In's Castle, which I know that you can't see it right here because it's in Japanese, but In's Castle actually allows all of In's Pokemon have 0 retreat costs. So the deck is very toolboxy, very moving around. We talked about the combos and, you know, the overview of the entire Journey Together set. I like what's happening here. There's a ton of tech. Evo, Devo, Power Glass, Defiance Band, Hyper Aroma. This is how I will play the deck. I've seen a lot with Unfair Stamp. I've seen a lot with Max Belt. I will be playing the In's deck with Hyper Aroma, and the reason is we have the 4 Arven. It's searchable. It's just such an easy way for us to get 3+ Zoroarks out in one turn, guys. I mean, 3 Zoroarks in one turn is huge. If we had one in hand, that's 4. I mean, so much potential, right? You're not going to have 4 out, hopefully, but however many you want to get out, you're getting out, plus your Darmani. I really can't wait for this deck. I'm not going to gush over it more. Now, what was interesting to me is that in top 5, we actually saw a Zard list. Now, I've already looked at this Zard list, and it's a little crazy. We have to scroll down to see the energies. There's so many different Pokemon in it. Let me use my slider bar and perfectly get us set up here. Look at this. 2-1-2 Zard line. I actually think that's the way to play Zard. 2-1-2. You are playing the double Hoot Hoot Noctowl, the 2-1-1 Dusknoir line, tried and true 2-1-1. It is proven, has been for over a year now. Double Rapagos, single line of Pidgeot, single line. Tell me how scary that is, that not one of those 3 is going in your prizes. I don't know, bro. That's scary to me. Paldean Tauros. Paldean Tauros, dude. I get it. Rear kick KO's Budew. Spirited Tackle can do 180 to a stage 1, which is all over the place right now in post rotation. Fan Rotom, Pheasantipity, Blood Moon, Ursa. 5-1 on the Fire Energy, Jet Energy. Why do we have the 1 Jet Energy? Well, that is a great question. Not only does it let us fan Rotom, not only does it let us Paldean Tauros potentially easier, it gets us a free swap into a Pidgeot, which can swap out for free if needed. It can get us our Terapagos in and almost ready to Unified Beatdown. It can Blood Moon Ursa Luna. That 1 Jet Energy is a linchpin of a deck card, which is crazy, right? It's just so cool to see how much that 1 energy can get done in the deck. I don't know. We just talked about Jacq, how it's replacing a lot of things like Lance and other cards. Jacq is going to be very important. There's obviously no Hyper Aroma in this deck, as we can see it as an Unfair Stamp Zard deck. Guys, This is wild. This whole thing is wild. You know, this is very akin to the Terra Box Zard, but instead of a water energy for Jet with the Wellspring, you are playing the Jet and the Ursa. So I like what's happening here. I think this is going to continue to have pretty good results at Zard. And let's see here. We do have the Dragapult Dusknoir again, 5th place. This is actually 4-4-3. So we see one more Dragapult than before, and actually a 3-2-2 line. Wow, with the Shaman Maractus. This is scary. This is actually really scary, right? Because, wow. I mean, guys, this is scary deck. It's running 3-3 on energies because it's not even trying to use the crystal. It's using Unfair Stamp. If you got Unfair Stamped against Dragapult, dude, I'm stepping up and walking away from the table. That's crazy. That's devious. Double Candy, although you don't need it. I almost want to say double Evo. Almost want to say that. I don't know, because things are already so locked in. Now, Brock Scouting, if you guys aren't aware, it is, I believe, 1 Evo or 2 basics that you can pull. So Brock Scouting is basically not Hyper Aroma, Aromatherapy, Aroma Jar, whatever it is. That card without a coin flip, and it takes a supporter role. So I do kind of like the one Brox alongside the one Jacques, because it does give dual utility in the game. One Crispin's a little low to not have Crystal in the deck, if you ask me, and we're not really able to search for that Crispin. The reality, though, is this deck is nasty, right? It works. It does have the Earthen Vessel that Arven can search for. It does have the Duskull and Dusknoirs. This deck can go first, too, right? That's what's so scary, man. Double Budu to be hyped up on going second, but it could go first absolutely and be just fine. Oh my god. BDIF for a reason, baby. All right. What's our next tournament we're looking for? You guys seeing what I'm seeing here with Blood Moon Ursaluna Maractus? I'm sorry. What are we looking at, guys? Hold the freaking door. What is going on? Okay. Let's start with saying that Blood Moon Ursaluna has Battle Harden. When you play it, you can attach 2 basic energy from your hand to it, meaning that it's pretty easy to attack in one turn with it. It also does 30 more damage for every damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon after 100 straight up. Maractus gives you a lot of extra damage on the board with the 60 return from it. Very interesting. The Tatsugiri is going to help us get our hands on some supporters. Do we play the rescue board for... Yeah, we do play the rescue board for the Tatsugiri. Although we have the Latias, so it's not like we need it. The Stunfisk. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, has a Pokemon tool attached, and is damaged by an attack, put 5 counters on the attacking Pokemon. Man, what are we looking at right here? Vengeful Punch, 4. Plus 5 is 9. Maractus is 6s. I mean, all of this is really cool, but does this not just scream a Lycanroc deck combo? Right? We use Stunfisk and Maractus with these Vengeful Punches to set up huge Lycanroc plays, and man, the Letter of Encouragement is huge, though. Oh, because it... Yeah. Yeah, wow. Okay, guys, this deck is sick. This deck is so sick. I want to play this deck, but we don't have Maractus. We don't have the Hops Cram, which is really an interesting addition to this. Is Hops banned in here? No. Wow. What a deck. This tournament is crazy, man. I am loving what I'm seeing. What is up with this Gardevoir showing Fez as its backup? Double Fez? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's crazy. We do have the Garchomp with the Monkey Dory. Okay, I like that. I do. Typhlosion and Dusknoir is kind of crazy. I could get down with this. I could absolutely get down with Typhlosion and Dusknoir. But you guys know me, I'm a huge Dusknoir fan with the Dunsparces in there as well. It is it is good to see the Milotic wall deck, doing its thing. Probably Antaros again put in that deck. Look at the energy lines here. It's such a big Crispin deck, and it makes sense, right? You have so many opportunities for walls. What I don't like seeing is that there's still one, two, three different Dragapult decks. Are they all rocking the same list at this point? Oh, a Luxray in it. Double reversal? Okay. So the double Brock scouting gets extra value when you play the Luxray. But this is still wild. I do love seeing the 2/2/2 Duskline. Man, this is a weird way to play Dragapult, but I like it. You even have the chance to attack with Dusknoir because of reversal. That is very cool. What's this last Dusknoir deck like? Shaman, 2/2/2, 4/4/3. Pretty standard stuff. The one reversal energy is there, what, just for the Dusknoir attack? Which is really crazy. Wow, Pult's running reversals. That's some wild stuff right there. The Goldango with the Dunsparce. Okay. The new Dunsparce is pretty cool. I have been seeing a lot of this Sylveon with Flareon. Angelite is just so strong. Makes sense, right? We're really rushing out Angelite. We've got a ton of different energies right there, which allows us to just be a 4x Crispin deck. Yeah. Other than Lily's Clefairy, guys, this deck is playable right now, right? Swap that out for something, go play this thing. It's winning too. Like it's got a tournament win on it, I wanna say. If we go to Flareon, this is another way you can use this app. You can go to Flareon, click on the card itself, takes us to this page, and then we can actually go to City League decks and see, where it's done. Here's actually a first place one, Miyazaki on the 9th. But guys, this is a crazy turnout for a tournament. I love what we are looking at there. I think there's maybe one more tournament down here that I really wanted to dive into, and that is going to be this Aichi. Maybe that's how you say this location. I'm not totally sure, but guys, there are really wild decks here. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing, but first off, a Yanmega deck wins it. There is a Walking Wake Ogerpon deck. There is the classic Zard Pidgeot. Guys, we have Inns Zoroark Gardevoir. That's where we're starting. I am not taking votes or inputs here. This is crazy, right? This is OG Guardy being played. You are solely using Inns Zoroark to get trade off, which is just the new Curlia, right? So you're slotting it in, playing the exact same deck you played before. You have all the same tech, the triple charms, the unfair stamp, only one rare candy because we are running the double evos to get the Zoroark out after we poff in it. OG Gardevoir exists, and it doesn't have to be a turbo brilliant blender deck. This is possible. It's happening right now. We're looking at it. It is only a 3/3 line of those, and it's a 3/2/2 line for the Guardy. And then we still have access to Screamtail, Klefki, Drifloon, Clefairy, Monkey Dory to move damage numbers around, Budew to start the game slow. So much potential, right? And we're not always going to Budew in this deck because we do run the double Evo, so we might turbo ourselves up. Really big fan of that. That's not how I will play Inns, I want to play it pure. I really love the Ends archetype, but I think that they are cooking there. See here, this Walking Wake Ogre Pawn. This is crazy talk, right? 3 Teal Mask, 2 Walking Wakes. Your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by a special condition. This attack does 120 more damage. Damage from attacks used by this Pokemon isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. Guys, Mimikyu, or Sylveon, Ogerpon, all of the walls are just nullified by Wake. Got Brute Bonnet for the poison package, Baby Petrump for early donks, Ditto to guarantee Petches, Wakes, Ogerpon, Squawky to just reset, Mew EX for those draws, quite literally restart. You got Latias to shift around because, guys, everything here is a basic, and Fez for some draw. We are only working with 2 water energy because it only takes 3 to attack, right? And how we're going to do that? Pretty simple. E-Switch, right? E-Switch is in the deck, but we've also got Secret Box. We've got the booster capsules, the jungles for more damage. I love what's going on here, and this is playable right now. This is some like this would crush on the ladder right here almost surely. Other than the fact that Dragapult still beats this whole deck instantly. But hey, it looks super fun to play. Go try it out. There is a no, sorry, there's not a Munkidori in there, so yeah, you're not really beating Dragapult, but it is a really sweet deck. Let's see. Actually, let's check out the Crustle and Typhlosion before we end on the Yanmega, but Crustle's pretty cool. Can't take damage from EXs. Shaman's going to protect your stuff. Typhlosion hitting really big when we're stacking up with energies. I think Typhlosion's a cool deck, but I'm not as excited for it as I am this beaut. Oh, Yanma. Cool. Yanmega. Dude, this card, hey, the art is badass. B, I have been in love with Yanmega ever since Diamond and Pearl first came out. And this whole concept happened of like teach your Pokemon ancient power and let it evolve to its ancient mode. Bruh. Yanmega goes hard. This is sick. 280 HP. Automatically turbos 3 grass energy to itself. I mean, I get it. You got the Crustle for a wall, Tatsu to search for your Arvens, Fez to get draw, Budu to stall the game if we need, Grass because we're getting it for free, Jet Energy to just move Yanmega in. But guys, we have the Dunsparce with free retreat. We do pack 170 HP Dunsparce if needed because Dragapult exists, and we don't have Monkey in this deck or Mist Energy. But we do have no, yeah, well, we're not even running Shaman or anything. I love this. I think this is a super sweet deck. I think we're going to see Yanmega really popping off. In fact, let's just do that. Let's go to Yanmega. City League decks. Oh, it's already showing up. I love it, guys. I want to see Yanmega really pop off. And in general, I hope you guys enjoyed us looking into City League decks today. I do this all the time. Super passionate about the game, so I want to keep up with how people are playing it. We saw some freaking awesome decks today in here. Some that you can even play right now, pre-rotation. So if you saw any of those, again, guys, go check out Limitless. Go to tournaments. You go to City Leagues, and you just start scrolling to find stuff you love. Speaking of stuff you love, as viewers, I got love for all you guys. Our channel is just doing awesome things right now. I couldn't be happier with how things have been moving. Thank you so much, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.